Breaking. The drama just hit a whole new level. And this time nobody saw it coming. While Scrappy is literally fighting for his life. Barely clinging to consciousness in a hospital bed, his ex, Bambi, was allegedly out here playing house with another man. Yeah, you heard that right. As prayers flooded timelines for Scrappy's recovery, Bambi was caught red-handed, doing everything but praying. And now, the streets are talking, DMs are leaking, and receipts are coming in hotter than a summer in Atlanta. How do you go from begging for privacy 1 minute to being spotted tongue-deep in scandal the next? Is this the coldest betrayal reality TV has ever witnessed? Did Bambi really turn her back on Scrappy when he needed her the most, or was this the plan all along? Because let's be clear, when a man is laid up in the ICU, and the woman who once called him her forever is caught in VIP looking anything but heartbroken, somebody's got some explaining to do. Stick around. Because we've got alleged photos, anonymous insiders spilling tea like it's Sunday brunch, and a scandal so dirty, even Mona Scott won't touch it. Buckle up. This story is about to blow wide open. Now let's dive into the madness, because if you thought this was just another breakup gone wrong, think again. This right here. This is betrayal on a cinematic level. So grab your popcorn, because the curtain just rose on Bambi, the coldest plot twist alive. While Lil Scrappy was lying in a hospital bed pale, weak, and barely holding on, trying to recover from what insiders are calling the emotional collapse of the decade, Bambi was allegedly out here making brand new memories with a mystery man. And this wasn't just a little coffee date. No, this was a full-blown situation: private suite, expensive wine, and the kind of laughs you only share when you're forgetting the man you once said, "I do too." Now let's rewind. Because this isn't just a one-night scandal. This mess has been simmering for months. And if you've been paying attention, like really paying attention, you'd know the cracks started forming way before Scrappy ended up in that hospital room with Mama D at his side, begging God to keep her son alive. Remember when Bambi went missing for days at a time back in February? Social media noticed. Fans were already speculating, where's Bambi? Why is Scrappy always posting alone? And then came the silence. No birthday posts, no family vibes, just weird subliminals and cryptic captions. She was prepping her exit and nobody knew it. Fast forward to now. Scrappy, after posting that disturbing message, "Sometimes the pain is just too much," which had fans praying, crying, and checking on their strong friends, was rushed to the hospital in what sources are calling a self-inflicted breakdown. Paramedics found him surrounded by empty bottles and unanswered calls. And while all of this was unfolding, while the internet exploded with people pleading for Scrappy's recovery, guess who was allegedly spotted at a swanky rooftop bar downtown, with a man who looked nothing like remorse or sympathy? Yes, Bambi, an anonymous server who wants to remain unnamed for job. Security told us exclusively that Bambi showed up dressed to destroy: heels, lashes, bodycon dress tighter than her alimony agreement. She wasn't crying. She wasn't grieving. She was laughing, drinking, and allegedly getting handsy with a man described as tall, tatted, and very much not Scrappy. According to the staff, there were toasts being made, a lot of champagne popping, and something that sounded suspiciously like the phrase "new beginnings" being whispered over lobster pasta. Let that sink in. While her husband was literally fighting for his life, Bambi was allegedly out here toasting to fresh starts. And before anyone tries to say maybe she didn't know, let's be clear. Everyone knew Scrappy's condition was public. Mama D had already gone live crying in the car. His fans were holding virtual vigils. And somehow Bambi still had the audacity to be out in public playing footsie with Mr. Muscles, while Scrappy was in ICU with tubes in his arms, and prayers in the air. But wait, it gets worse. Sources say Bambi has been distant for weeks, dodging family events, skipping check-ins with Scrappy's team, and apparently focused on herself. And if that wasn't enough, a leaked text message circulating online appears to show Bambi telling a friend she felt free for the first time in years. Now, freedom is one thing, but freedom while your man is laid up in a hospital bed, that's a whole different brand of cold. And the internet has thought so. They have thoughts. Comments exploded the moment the rooftop sighting went viral. One user wrote, "She couldn't even pretend to care. Not even for the cameras." Another chimed in, "Bambi, really out here, writing her villain origin story in real time." People are not holding back. Even a few Love and Hip Hop alumni have thrown in their 2 cents, with one former castmate allegedly tweeting, "Ain't no way you can love someone and act like that, period." And behind the scenes, it's even messier. An insider close to Scrappy's camp claims that he had been holding on for hope, thinking maybe, just maybe, Bambi would show up to the hospital, say a few kind words, remind him of the love they used to share. Instead, she showed up to a bottle service menu and a man with a neck tattoo. And now, the fallout is hitting hard. Scrappy's team has gone into lockdown. No more statements, no more interviews. It's like they're circling the wagons, trying to protect him from the media storm that's about to hit. Meanwhile, Mama D is allegedly furious. Word on the street is she's preparing to go public with receipts, text messages, voice notes, and maybe even surveillance footage showing just how long Bambi's been moving this way. If that happens, this scandal could reach a whole new level of explosive. And we're only just getting started. Because as Scrappy regains strength and slowly starts to open his eyes, the first thing he might see isn't a loving wife or supportive partner. It's betrayal dressed in red bottoms and sipping rose, and that's where things take a turn. Because while Scrappy is beginning to recover physically, emotionally, he's shattered. Sources say he's asking for Bambi by name, still holding on to some piece of hope that she might walk through those hospital doors and hold his hand. But all he's getting is silence. Or worse, rumor screenshots, and the haunting possibility that the woman he fought so hard for is already building a life without him. The emotional toll is immense. Doctors are saying his vitals spike every time her name is mentioned. Nurses have allegedly been instructed to keep the news cycle away from his room, and fans. They're divided. Some are calling for compassion, saying we don't know Bambi's side. Others, they want answers. Try explaining that to the millions of people side-eyeing every move she makes. Meanwhile, Scrappy's recovery is moving at a snail's pace, and it's not just because of physical exhaustion. Doctors are now reportedly worried about the psychological impact this scandal is having on his progress. One nurse, who asked to remain anonymous, described walking into Scrappy's room only to find him staring blankly at his phone screen, watching the viral footage of Bambi and her new companion on loop. No words, no reaction, just heartbreak in real time. And you know what's worse? She hasn't denied a thing. Not a statement, not a post, not even a cryptic story to calm the storm. Just silence. The kind of silence that screams guilt louder than any press conference ever could. And let's talk about Mama D, because she's not one to sit quietly and sip tea. Oh no, she's brewing it herself and serving it hot. According to close friends, Mama D is planning a sit-down interview to finally expose the truth about what's really been going on in her son's marriage. Apparently, she warned Scrappy months ago that Bambi's energy had shifted, that the love in her eyes had gone dim, that she was too busy chasing photo ops to care about the man she once swore to love forever. But Scrappy didn't listen. He defended her, loved her harder, and now, he's the one left bleeding while she's allegedly being wined and dined like she just won the lottery. Now let's get into the digital detective work, because fans have turned this situation into a full-on investigation. TikTokers, bloggers, Reddit sleuths, they've all been connecting the dots. One viral theory points out that Bambi's last few IG captions were actually lyrics from breakup anthems, layered with subtle hints that she'd emotionally checked out long before this hospital crisis. Others dug into old footage, piecing together timelines that suggest this new man might not be so new after all. Could he have been in the picture even before the split? Could Scrappy have been blindsided twice, once by the breakup and again by how deep the betrayal actually runs? Meanwhile, former Love and Hip Hop cast members are chiming in, and trust they're not holding back. One insider said on a live stream, "Y'all ain't seen nothing yet. Bambi been plotting her exit like it was a season finale." Another suggested that this mystery man might have ties to the industry, someone with influence, connections, and just enough money to make Bambi feel like she's leveling up. And just like that, the narrative shifts. Because now, it's not just about heartbreak, it's about ambition. It's about betrayal for clout. It's about playing chess with someone else's soul on the line. And Scrappy. He's caught in the middle of a storm he never saw coming. While the world debates whether Bambi was justified, or just ruthless, he's left trying to rebuild the pieces of a life that crumbled in public view. Sources close to him say he's struggling to sleep, refusing food, and spiraling into an emotional fog that even his closest friends can't pull him out of. One of his longtime collaborators admitted, "We've never seen him like this. He's always been the funny one, the strong one. But now, it's like the light is gone." There's even talk of Scrappy stepping back from music indefinitely. Producers who were working with him on upcoming projects have allegedly been told to pause everything until further notice. Shows cancelled. Studio sessions scrapped. It's like he's pressing pause on his entire existence, and who can blame him? His whole world just flipped upside down, and the person he thought would be in his corner turned out to be front row for someone else's show, and now, fans are furious. Not just disappointed, furious. They've taken to Bambi's social media with comments that range from heartbreaking pleas to straight-up fury. One user wrote, "You watched him suffer and still chose to entertain someone else. That's not healing. That's heartless." Another said, "At least pretend to care. He gave you his everything and you gave him a front row seat to his own replacement." The backlash is real, and if Bambi thought this would blow over in a few days, she clearly underestimated the loyalty of Scrappy's fanbase. But this story doesn't end with betrayal alone. There's another twist. Allegedly, Bambi's new flame isn't just some random rebound. He's reportedly married. Yep, married, and that's where things go from scandalous to straight up messy. His wife, who we're going to call Crystal for now, has allegedly reached out to multiple gossip blogs claiming she has screenshots, call logs, and even hotel receipts linking Bambi and her husband together while Scrappy was in the hospital. If this turns out to be true, we're not just talking about a scandal, we're talking about a full-blown PR crisis, possible legal drama, and a whole lot of explaining that Bambi may not be ready for. And still, she stays silent. No denial, no tears, just pictures of brunch, nails, and spa days. Meanwhile, Scrappy's inner circle is scrambling. They're trying to protect him from more emotional damage. But how do you protect someone when the betrayal is playing on every screen? How do you tell a man who nearly lost his life that the love he was clinging to was already halfway out the door? And so, as part 2 of this drama unfolds, the pressure mounts. Scrappy's healing is slow, fragile, and constantly threatened by every new headline, every new photo, every whisper of Bambi's next move. And Bambi, she's not just living her best life, she's rewriting her story without so much as a glance back. But the world's watching. Fans, critics, the media, everyone's holding their breath, waiting to see how this ends. Will Scrappy find the strength to stand again without her? Will Bambi face the consequences of a betrayal that's got the entire internet screaming foul play? Or is there another twist waiting just around the corner? Because if there's one thing we know for sure, it's that this roller coaster ain't slowing down anytime soon. And just when everyone thought the fire couldn't burn any hotter, it exploded. Because out of nowhere, a new voice entered the chaos, someone who claims to be a close associate of the man Bambi's been seen with. This anonymous source dropped a bombshell, revealing that the alleged affair between Bambi and this married man didn't start recently. According to them, it's been going on for months. Quiet dinners, sneaky meets, and hotel rendezvous that were masked as business. Worse yet, the source claims Bambi was fully aware the man was married and that she simply didn't care. Allegedly, she called his wife irrelevant during a heated phone call and told her to focus on her own lane. If that's true, this isn't just a scandal, it's a calculated betrayal. Suddenly, all those cryptic posts and mood swings make sense. She wasn't torn or confused. She was just preparing her exit like she was walking a red carpet. Meanwhile, Scrappy's mental state continues to deteriorate. He's out of the hospital now, but sources say he's barely functioning. He's moved in temporarily with a cousin to avoid the media frenzy outside his home. He's reportedly stopped answering calls from most people, and those closest to him are terrified he might relapse into dangerous habits. A friend who saw him recently described it as the shell of a man who's been emotionally executed. And now, whispers are growing that Scrappy's team is considering placing him in a wellness retreat for full emotional recovery, away from cameras, away from fans, and most importantly, away from Bambi's growing circus. But here's where things really twist. Remember that phone Bambi never picked up when Scrappy was crying for help? Yeah, turns out she wasn't just ignoring it. Insiders now say she was with her new man the very night Scrappy nearly took his own life. Let that sink in. While he was lying on a bathroom floor, drowning in pain, she was reportedly popping champagne with a man whose wife was home crying her own tears. If that doesn't hit like a dagger, I don't know what does. And now fans are demanding accountability. Allegedly, she's preparing a lawsuit for alienation of affection, a legal move that could put Bambi in court, facing serious financial consequences. And if you think she can brush this off, think again. Crystal has receipts, witnesses, and allegedly, audio recordings of her husband confessing to the affair and admitting Bambi encouraged him to keep it quiet while Scrappy was in the hospital. This isn't just drama anymore. This could turn into a courtroom disaster, and guess what? That's not even the worst of it. Bambi's brand deals are now in jeopardy. One company that previously worked with her on a beauty campaign is rumored to be pulling back completely, stating that her current image doesn't align with their values. Another major brand is allegedly monitoring the situation to see if public backlash affects their bottom line. Translation: they're looking for an excuse to cut ties. Because in today's world, cheating scandals don't just break hearts, they break contracts. And let's not forget Mama D. You think she was gonna sit back and stay quiet? Please, word is she's working on a tell-all book. Yep, a full behind-the-scenes expose about her son's heartbreak, Bambi's behavior, and everything love and hip-hop didn't show you. And get this, she's calling it royal betrayal, the Scrappy truth. Because of course she is. And let's be real, we'd all read it. As for Scrappy, he's slowly trying to stand again. Not for her, not even for himself, but for his kids, his music, his legacy. In a rare message sent through his team, he said, "I may be down, but I'm not out. Y'all gon' see me stand again? I promise that." And just like that, the internet erupted in support. Thousands of fans posting clips, comments, and tributes reminding him that even when love fails, the people still got his back. Artists have reached out, producers are offering free studio time, and some are even planning a tribute concert to help him heal and remind the world who Scrappy really is: a fighter, not a victim. And yet, despite all this, Bambi still hasn't publicly addressed the cheating allegations. Nothing. Not a single word of denial or regret. Her silence is now being interpreted as admission. Because when you're innocent, you scream it. When you're guilty, you hide behind curated posts and indirect shade. And let's not forget the man she's been seen with. He's gone silent, too. His social media is scrubbed. His wife is speaking, his name is trending, and he's vanished like a magician docked. But this ain't a magic show. This is real life. Real pain, real consequences. So now the question hangs heavy in the air. Can Scrappy really rebuild after all this? Can a man who was torn down by the woman he once called his queen rise up from the ashes with his soul intact? Or will this be the kind of wound that never truly heals, just gets buried under music and smiles that don't quite reach his eyes? And what about Bambi? Can she live with the weight of her decisions? Or is she still convincing herself that this was all for her own peace? Because here's the truth, nobody wants to say out loud, sometimes, peace comes at the cost of someone else's destruction, and when the dust finally settles, all that's left is the damage. So as this story reaches its boiling point, we're all left wondering what's next. Will court papers fly? Will Bambi break her silence? Will Scrappy finally tell the full truth, or are we just watching the beginning of a much darker storm? One thing's for sure, this ain't over. Not by a long shot. And if you thought the drama was done, you haven't seen anything yet. If you're still here, then you already know this isn't just some reality show mess, this is a full-blown emotional crime scene. And the yellow tape is still being rolled out. So now we turn to you. After everything we just exposed, after every shocking twist, every gut-wrenching moment, and every shady secret dragged into the light, what do you think? Was Bambi just doing what she had to do to survive? Or did she cross a line that can never be uncrossed? Is Scrappy the victim of a cold betrayal? Or were there signs he ignored until it was too late? And more importantly, can anybody come back from this level of heartbreak, especially when the whole world is watching? We need to hear your voice. Drop your rawest thoughts down in the comments, no holding back. Do you think Bambi's silence is an admission of guilt? Do you think Scrappy deserves another shot at love, at peace, at rebuilding from the ground up? Or has this scandal changed everything forever? And don't just scroll past and disappear into the next messy headline. If you want to be the first to get every leak, every exposed receipt, and every viral twist as it breaks, you already know what to do. Hit that like button like you're smashing the lies. Subscribe if you haven't already, because this story is far from over, and trust, got more tea brewing than a Sunday night reunion special. Tap the bell so you don't miss a second. Because as soon as Bambi breaks her silence or gets dragged into court, hear it here first. We're watching every move, every whisper, every cryptic caption. This is your front row seat too. The most talked about meltdown in reality TV history. Stay tuned, because the next chapter, it's coming and it's gonna be even messier.